If we can't save the cutest animal in the world, what is going to happen? G'day, what's up YouTube? Welcome to episode 4 of Mist as a Marvellous Mum. Come on along with me for a peek at some great moments as we watch Mist snacking, climbing, being strong and, let me tell you, more than a few awkward, heart-stopping moments. Koala Gardens is a wildlife sanctuary on private land. Subscribing helps me bring koalas to you, and liking this video helps me bring them to the whole world. I'm lucky enough to live in the koala's backyard with a wild and free colony on the far north coast of New South Wales in Australia. Check out my Patreon options and come over and chat on my public Discord server. You'll find links for these and lots more in the description below. I'm Katrina and I'm passionate about saving koalas. The Joey that you're looking at in this video today is Chrissy, and he is around 7 to 8 months old. So sometimes he's riding on Mum's stomach and sometimes on her back, which is really typical of Joeys at this age. He feels more secure on her stomach because if something goes wrong, she's still got the opportunity to grab him. But within the next month or so, he'll be on her back all the time. This stage of the Joey is kind of similar to a human child who's just learnt to walk. So he's a bit beyond barely standing up, but there's still lots of pretty hilarious yet heart-stopping awkward things that happen. And because Mum has to carry him, and he is gaining quite a bit of size, he's well over a kilo now, she has to be really strong because she has to lug him about all the time. It's also fairly comparable to that awareness stage of a child who's just learnt to walk, which is that he's looking around, he's aware of things, he can see everything, but he's really not making any decisions. He's just basically holding on. Mum takes him to where they're going and she says, okay, this is where we're stopping, this is what we're eating, and he says, oh, okay, Mum, I'll just go along with whatever you're telling me to do. Koala mums teach their Joeys what is safe to eat and what isn't. And you know, that starts quite young when they're in the pouch because, as you know, koalas have a really advanced sense of smell. So even when Joey was quite small and in pouch, Joey will have been able to smell Mum when she's eating. Have you ever actually handled a eucalyptus leaf? If you have, then you would know that if you start to break that leaf and crush and bruise it, the smell of the eucalyptus is quite evident. Now, my nose has nothing like the sensitivity of a koala's nose, but I do know that I have broken and smelled eucalyptus leaves from different species of trees, and I can smell some slight differences between different species. The koala nose is a whole chemical factory, and they can analyse so many things about each of the eucalyptus leaves that we just wouldn't even be able to conceive of. So even when Joey is quite small and in the pouch, Joey will be smelling those leaves crushing as Mum bites them and chews them. And Joey starts learning right back then. And of course, we never forget that all of this is happening right up in the treetops canopies. don't know about you, but to me, Joey really sort of seems to be sticking out the front of Miss there. And I think that Joey's even realised that and decides, Mum, I think I should just get back in a bit closer. It's not feeling so safe, maybe. And Mum just keeps eating, and Joey takes a breather, just holding on and kind of reassessing the situation. It doesn't really last very long though, because Joey's, like all youngsters, are curious, hungry, and have a bit of a sense of adventure. So Joey still ends up moving about and getting involved with the meal and curling back in for some safety when Joey feels that maybe I'm doing things a bit too daring. I always marvel at how much confidence koala mums have in their youngster, because to me, and probably to you, Joey looks quite small and frail, but Miss just pretty much goes about her business, getting the meal the way she wants it, and expects Joey to learn all things arboreal and hold on and come along with her. Sometimes this results in Joey ending up in some slightly awkward places, and you saw how high they are up in the tree, and Joey's just holding onto her leg until she gets back to a spot where Joey goes, okay, I'm just getting straight back into that stomach spot where I feel a lot safer. Good idea. But once again, it doesn't last very long, because Joey doesn't want to just be clinging on to Mum's front. And again, I think if you've ever watched young animals or watched a human child, it's a really similar behaviour. Get back over to Mum, curl in, feel safe, wait a minute, look out at the world, and go and have another go. You'll notice it's actually quite windy up there. When I was zoomed out, you could see how high they are up in the tree and how they're on really the end of quite a thin branch. And so when the breeze blows, that branch blows around. And again, this is all part of Joey's learning. Joey's learning what it feels like when the wind blows, how much you have to hang on, and also learning, don't worry, don't panic. This is life, keep eating. This tree that they're in is a forest red gum, which is a primary koala food tree. And this particular tree was always one of Miss' favourite trees for training her Joeys in. I love the look that Joeys get on their face. It's quite a pensive look. And yet, give them a minute, and again, they start to just get on with the whole thing of life. Now, moving about with Mum this way, Joey develops really strong arms. There is some muscle development in the legs, but you can see, even though Joey's nestled in a bit here, that Joey really has to hold on to Mum with their arms, and the arms of a koala is the strongest part of a koala. So having Joey ride on the stomach like this helps develop those strong arms. Joey really wants to enjoy some of this snack with Mum. It's not easy when you're so young. But there was success. Joey's definitely having a good chew on a bit of leaf there. Let's just kick back and watch the meal progress for a little bit as Joey has a bit of a scratch, gets settled and figures out how to get a hold of enough leaf to make a meal out of this for himself. I also always love when I'm watching Wild Mother and Joey's up in the treetops, how mums always manage to pull a branch in front of them and eat from it, but have enough leaf dangling that Joey will be able to reach it. But Joey still has to work to get that leaf. So she doesn't coddle Joey, but of course she makes sure that Joey does get a meal. It's really quite marvellous to watch. When you think about it, sitting in a branch of a tree, blowing about in the wind, and trying to hold on and reach out and actually reach the leaf that you want is not always as easy as one might presume, and things are not always as close as they seem. You might notice as she's climbing that her pouch seems quite tiny now. She's actually looks like she's got a pretty trim little pouch, but Joey can actually still get in there. Joey is much more in control of having to be the one completely holding on and being aware of everything once Joey gets around onto Mum's back, because she's got no hope really of grabbing him if something goes wrong and he falls. And yet, really, once again, she just keeps on doing whatever she needs to keep on doing and expects her Joey to hold on and be okay. I love their gorgeous, scrawny little rumps when they're tiny Joeys like this. They've just got no bum muscles at all. Mist is quite a bit lower in the tree now, more towards the main trunk, and she's come about 6 or 7 metres down the tree from where she was before, so she won't be blown about by the wind quite as much here either. Joey's moved back around to Mum's tummy where he feels safer, but it's also easier for him to join in and have a bit of a feed if he's around the front of Mum, especially with that bit of tree trunk behind his back. Oh, that looks like a perfect Joey leaf. having an awful lot of success really getting the leaf that Joey wants. He's munching on a bit, but he reaches a point where he decides, okay, I think I've had enough. I wouldn't mind a little drink of milk and a curl up and sleep now. And so, amazing as it seems, back he goes, and by just pushing and squirming, he gets back inside Mum's pouch, and she just keeps eating the whole time. I tell you what though, fair dinkum, that has got to be uncomfortable. It actually makes me cringe a bit watching that huge bulge wriggling around, and there Mist goes like, oh, okay, I need to just alter position a little bit. I'd say Joey's found the teat and started drinking milk now. So to finish off, let's just have a look at some of the awkward heart-stopping moments. Joey wants to get from her tummy over onto her back, but he can barely fit through that gap there. Now, does Mist help him? No, Mist is like, I'm eating, you figure it out for yourself, kid. Look at the pushing of those legs, and finally she goes, oh, all right, I'll help. There you go. And he's like, oh no, now I don't know what to hold on to. Hey, Mum, let me back in. And she's like, nah, just let me eat, kid. And this is exactly how Joeys learn all the skills they need to grow up and be an arboreal koala living in the treetops without Mum, is by all of these awkward moments, and every one of them that they get through, learn from, and develop muscles from. And when it's all over and you've got Joey in pouch, it's time to just kick back and have a sleep at the end of a big meal, a good bit of exercise, and a ride in the treetops in the wind. You can see that Joey is in pouch because you can see the pouch wriggling. You can see it's uncomfortable, and yet you can also just at times see bits of Joey moving because often the legs are out of the pouch. And now Joey's popped his head back out and is just having a nice little rest with Mum. And here's your bonus image that I created by taking a still out of the video. You can see the double thumb on little Chrissy there as he reaches up to get a hold of that leaf and have a good munch with Mum. From now on, all of the bonus images I make are up on Redbubble, where you can have them printed either as a print, or some of them that work well for merchandise are also available on some merchandise. So I hope that you enjoyed this bonus image and enjoyed spending some time with me watching Mist and Chrissy. Thanks so much for watching, because guess what? You have made it through to the end of yet another video. So would you take a moment to write in the comments below, best koala mum? And I tell you what, she really is, except for all the other koala mums. Thanks for visiting Koala Gardens. Did you hit the like button? Now before you go, there's lots more great video to see, And make sure you've subscribed and hit that notification bell.